Tonight on the news around the world, NLC holds security protest against insecurity. Two in critical condition as plane crash lands in Owerri. Governor Makinde approves a 654 workers' conversion to higher service cadres. And 104 civilians killed in Sudan drone attacks. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the news around the world. I am Buluwaji Ogumola, and on the sign language corner is Korede Oluleye. Members of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) assembled at the NLC Secretariat, Abuja, on Wednesday for a nationwide protest against rising insecurity and worsening economic conditions across the country. President Bola Tinubu met with the NLC leadership on Tuesday night in a bid to avert the protest, but the union president, Comrade Joe Ajaero, told newsmen there was no going back. Also in Lagos, the protesters gathered in Ikeja, carrying placards, chanting slogans, and demanding urgent action to curb violent crime and kidnapping. The demonstration, first announced after the NLC's National Executive Council meeting on the 4th of December 2025, responds to a wide range of national crises. The union's National Executive Council expressed concern over escalating insecurity, including the abduction of 24 schoolgirls in Kebbi State on the 17th of November, during which 2 staff members were killed. The protests also addressed broader labor grievances, including unresolved agreements with the federal government and rising cost of living. A chartered aircraft operated by Sky Power Kaduna crash-landed at Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, at about 8 p.m. on Tuesday. The plane was said to be heading to Port Harcourt from Kaduna when it crash-landed at the threshold of runway 17. 2 of the 4 persons on board were reported to be in very critical condition and were quickly rushed to the Nigerian Air Force Hospital close to the airport. Reacting via press statement, the Director, Public Affairs and Family Assistance, Nigerian Safety and Investigation Bureau, Mrs. Bimbo Olawomi Oladeji, said that there were no fatalities. She said efforts were currently underway to coordinate the recovery and evacuation of the distressed aircraft from the crash site to allow for detailed wreckage examination. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, on Wednesday insisted that the tinted glass permit policy of the Nigeria Police Force was lawful. IGP Egbetokun said the force remains unwavering in its respect for the judiciary. He said the police will comply fully with all valid court orders of courts of competent jurisdiction and will not act in any manner that undermines ongoing judicial proceedings. The IGP, however, clarified that the existence of pending litigation does not in itself extinguish the lawful responsibilities of the police, except where a court has expressly and finally directed otherwise. A statement issued by the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Huney, noted that there is no final judicial pronouncement declaring the motor vehicle tinted glass permit policy as unlawful. A public affairs analyst, Professor Babatunde Adegoke, has listed pervasive selfishness among Nigerians and a lack of concern for the welfare of others as key obstacles to national development. Professor Adegoke was discussing the unending attacks on communities and churches in Kogi State on the BCOS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program AM 120. Fedora Afolagboye monitored the program and compiled this report.
Incessant attacks on Kogi community and church have sparked outrage, raising concerns about security and protection. The incessant attacks have led to loss of lives, property damage, and displacement, prompting calls for immediate government intervention and support for the affected communities. Discussing this topic on the BCOS AM 120, a public affairs analyst, Professor Babatunde Adegoke, attributed the church attacks to opportunistic banditry, suggesting bandits view churches as vulnerable targets rather than targeting Christians specifically. He noted that the United States President Donald Trump's threat has galvanized the federal government, prompting it to implement positive changes, which he applauded.
Um, for me, I don't want to believe that there's genocide. Yes, there's persecution of Christians, but I think those bandits, they see the churches as soft targets where they can get handful of people to kidnap, and they know that when they kidnap from churches, even if those people don't have money, the church members will do all that they can to raise money.
Professor Babatunde expressed concern that Nigerians' lack of patriotism and insider complicity are major obstacles to combating banditry, stressing the need for Nigerians to change their mindsets and prioritize national interests.
You see, this idea of insecurity affecting our economy, is expected because an average farmer, especially if we appreciate the fact that most of the farm products actually come from the north. And those are the areas that have been overwhelmed by this insecurity.
Professor Babatunde urged the federal government to boost security forces and educate the public on security measures, emphasizing the need for a collaborative approach to address Nigeria's security challenges. Fedora Afolagwe, BCOS News.
We shall now take a short commercial break. Please don't go away.
Make we talk. Shut my teeth fresh now. But you know, I beg no be so. Ever had a Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world. For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, you get down to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Because we Colgate, that's what we are down with your smile.
Ike, you are jogging? Since when?
Freshio, a good source of vitamins A, B6, B12, D, and zinc that keeps you active and refreshed on the go.
You're so full of life these days, Ike. Since when?
Hey, it's Friday.
Party tonight?
After this long day of work, and you too, since when?
Freshio, wholesome goodness every day. Grab your bottle now.
We've got news. Freshio Kids Pack is back with a straw hole.
Na transfer.
Na money point, Oga.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money points.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
Natural sunrise breath. I give my family comfort.
Tertiary institutions. With this approval, it is expected that the beneficiaries will not only enjoy higher salaries, but will also be able to reach the peak of their careers in the civil service. Alhaji Kamaruddin Aderibibe admonished all the concerned officers to show more dedication to service. Meanwhile, participants in the recently concluded confirmation, promotion, and advancement examinations for Oyo State civil servants have commended the state government for the smooth conduct of the exercise. They spoke with BCOS reporter Bemisola Adebayo, who covered the inspection visit of the state head of service, Mrs. Olubumi Oni, to examination centers in Iseyin and Oyo Town.
As part of the ongoing inspection of examination centers across the state, the Oyo State Head of Service, Mrs. Olubumi Oni, visited Iseyin and Oyo to monitor the conduct of the confirmation, promotion, and advancement examinations for participants from the Ogbomoso Okeogun axis. Examination centers visited during the tour include Iseyin District Grammar School, Raji Okiesa Memorial Comprehensive High School is saying, St. Bernard's Girls Grammar School, Oyo, and Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo. The visit was greeted with excitement as candidates welcomed the head of service and her team.
Apart from you presenting it for your promotion or your confirmation, you also know more about the routines in your offices.
Mrs. Olubumi Oni moved around the examination halls to assess the process and later emphasized that the exercise is critical to workers' career growth and professional development. She advised participants to remain committed to self-improvement after the examinations, urging them to continually acquire knowledge and skills relevant to their duties and personal lives.
It's going to be an annual one for people that are qualified to write the exam. People that have written it this year, if they pass all the subjects, they need not write it again throughout their service year. But if they did not pass, the papers that they have failed, they will resit it next year. That is the new introduction to it. Initially, if they fail one paper, they will resit everything. But now, you resit only the papers that you have failed. So some people will be moved to another grade level next year, and they will be qualified for this exam. So such people will also register and sit for the exam. And those people that have missed it this year will also have the opportunity of sitting for the exam next year.
Some of the candidates, including a physically challenged participant, Kolawole Samuel, shared their experiences and lessons learned from the exercise.
The exam, like the public service rules, the financial regulation, has worked in every aspect, all other aspects that I will need in management or administration, away from the usual clinical parts that I know very well.
Being employed is not even enough. You have to know the keyword and the routine of what we are being employed into, which give me an insight that with this, I'm more than capable and we can do it all. May God help us all.
I didn't know how to use the computer before, but since yesterday, according to the computer exam that I do, I know what mouse is, how to use mouse. I know what keyboard is. Then I'll know the input devices, then the output devices.
With the questions and the whole process at all, let me give it between 7 and 8 mark. At least that one's excellence or pass mark.
With the examinations now concluded, expectations are high that Oyo State workers will return to their various offices better equipped, motivated, and prepared to contribute more effectively to service delivery in the Oyo State Civil Service. Bemisola Adebayo, BCOS News.
The Omituntun Glorious Bridge Box Covert 006 Onisebi along the Oritamari Igisoba Babana Road has been commissioned for use in the Onora Local Government Council area in Ibadan. The council chairman, Dr. Temitope Kolapo, performed the formal commissioning of the bridge box covert on Wednesday with a pledge to further dedicate himself to grassroots development. BCOS reporter Olamide Owolabi completes the story.
Effort to accelerate development in Onara local government area, the chairman, Dr. Temitope Kolapo, popularly known as Glorious, embarked on several infrastructure projects, including the construction of the Omituntun Glorious Bridge Box Culvert 006 Onishebe along the Ovitamemi Igisogba Bambanla Road. The bridge, which is the sixth of its kind by the administration, since its assumption of office, was commissioned by the Oyo State Deputy Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Wasiu Adeleke. Speaking at the event, the PDP Deputy Chairman, Alhaji Wasiu Adeleke, expressed satisfaction with the quality of the project and commended the chairman for his performance and for promoting the image of the party.
Because it's one thing when leaders also fellowship is another thing getting ready that to share. So I commend the Alaga.
In their good messages, some party leaders and a community representative appreciated the chairman for fulfilling his promise on the bridge construction and for executing other developmental projects within the local government.
Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Olúwaṣèyí Abíọ́dún wa Olúwa Mákindé ó ń ṣe dáradára.
Wọ́n sọ pé ká dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ alága wa lọ́nà àrà. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ pé tọ́ba ṣe dáadáa ń sọ. Ó kú ilẹ̀ káàtó wọ́n sọ. Àwa ò ní ìdìbò kankan mọ́. Níta àwọn àgbọ̀ òní ló ṣe dá lọ́kàn wa. Ọlọ́pàá yóò jẹ́ ọmọ ṣàṣeyọrí o.
God hand over. We are not disappointed having him as our council chairman. He continues and improving on what we have been doing.
Bíríìjì tá a wá sí eléyìí lẹ́lẹ́kẹfà èyí kọ́ ni àkọ́ṣe rẹ̀ kọ́lọ̀ máa bá ní wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ kọ́lọ̀ ń bá kún lọ́wọ́ ó ń gbìyànjú láti gbò tí débẹ̀ ó ṣe dáadáa.
In his remarks, the local government chairman, Dr. Temitope Kolapo, attributed his achievements to the leadership style of the Oyo State governor, whom he described as role model. He said that roads leading to the bridge would be tarred in the coming months and added that chairs for primary schools across the local governments are currently in production.
I'm here to solve the challenges of my people. Anything that can hinder the peace and progress of my people, I will work on it. I will work on them, and I've been doing that. Presently, I'm working on the production of chairs and tables for all the primary schools in our local government. And we are doing it at the council secretariat. If you get there now, you will see it. Many chairs have been constructed. And by the grace of God, we are going to finish it as early as possible next year, January.
Highlight of the event, which included the presentation of gifts to the chairman, are traditional rulers, religious leaders, and party chieftains in attendance. Olami Diowolabi, BCOS News.
Another time out. Please don't go away.
Protect every day with Hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
So disinfect your kitchen every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo.
No grief. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo.
Free to imagine a world with no boundaries. Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection where they correct.
Hey, with Tasty Tom and Derica, your unique pin can make you a millionaire. Buy any Tasty Tom tomato mix or Derica tomato mix promo pack. Reveal the unique pin inside. Dial *8011 *2 unique pin hash. Win airtime instantly and stand a chance to win big cash prizes.
Enjoy delicious meals. Text and win big.
Tasty Tom, Derica Millionaire Splash promo. Become an double this season.
Nigeria's First Lady and National Chairman of the Renewed Hope Initiative, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has held the third edition of the Elderly Support Scheme, offering financial assistance to senior citizens in Oyo State. BCOS reporter Hawao Ibrahim here reports that a social investment program was held at the local government staff training school, Secretariat, Ibadan, under the scheme. Hawao's report is presented by Gbemisola Adebayo.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program, themed Finding Joy in Old Age, was held simultaneously across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. Under the scheme, each state was provided with a sum of 200,000 naira to 250 elderly beneficiaries to help strengthen and improve their overall well-being. Speaking at the Social Investment Program, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who was represented by the wife of the Oyo State Governor, Mrs. Tamuno Minini Makinde, and further represented by the wife of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Ajibola Lawal, emphasized the importance of including elderly citizens in national development. She explained that the elderly support scheme was designed to ensure that senior citizens live with happiness, dignity, and a sense of belonging, noting that the initiative has become a uniform program aimed at celebrating and supporting the elderly across the nation.
It is crucial to emphasize the importance of prioritizing our elderly citizens in our initiatives. They have more difficult paths so that the younger generations may have smoother routes to travel. It is therefore our moral duty and indeed our joy to ensure that they live their twilight years in comfort, good health, and dignity.
The Oyo State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Inclusion, Mrs. Toyin Balogun, described the program as a clear demonstration of the government's commitment to the welfare of senior citizens, acknowledging their years of dedication and contributions to societal development.
It is our hope that today's outreach will not only improve health outcomes, but also reaffirm our collective responsibility to care for those who have contributed immensely to the benefit of our society in their youth.
Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Akintunde Ayinde, who represented
to promoting love, dignity, and social inclusion. It was at an appreciation ceremony organized in Ibadan for volunteers of Ariola Kitchens, one of the humanitarian programs of Grace Relief Initiative International. BCOS reporter Adebayo Abdurrafiu covered the event and now files in the details.
Grace Relief Initiative International, a non-governmental organization registered in Nigeria and the United States, has continued to impact the lives of needy elderly persons through Ariola Kitchens, a program dedicated to providing food, care, and holistic support for senior citizens. The initiative is coordinated by Mrs. Victoria Ariola Olutalabi. The appreciation ceremony organized for volunteers of Ariola Kitchens also doubled as the organization's Christmas celebration. Speaking at the gathering, the founders, Apostle Dr. Israel Eledan and Reverend Mrs. Grace Eledan, commended Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde for prioritizing the welfare of senior citizens, particularly through the prompt payment of workers' salaries and pensioners' gratuities. They urged both federal and state governments to deepen collaboration with humanitarian organizations to enhance social welfare delivery.
But the message is so clear, which is love your neighbor as yourself, and either one is a Christian or not, it's a kind of what I call universal law, to love your neighbor as yourself. We can see what is going on all over the world, how people are selfish, self-centeredness. So, but for us to be able to love our neighbors as ourselves, that's selflessness, and we must know that leadership is about serving the people, and we are there to serve one another. But that's what we are not seeing there. So we started building now.
Outreaches in different locations in Lagos and Ibadan and other parts of the country. Just helping people that cannot otherwise afford medication. We bring medication from the US.
Also speaking, coordinator of Grace Relief Initiative International and Ariola Kitchens program in Pakistan, Dr. Fihaz Masih, described the initiative as impactful and inspiring, noting that the program goes beyond food provision.
Ariola Kitchen is not just the helping and supporting the elderly people, but this is also the good way to spread the gospel, share the gospel, and share the good news of Lord Jesus Christ to other people.
The colorful event featured the presentation of awards and appreciation funds to volunteers in recognition of their dedication and selfless service to humanity. Adebayo Abdurafi, BCOS News.
We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Feel free to imagine a world with no boundaries. Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection with the correct. No boundaries, smooth connection with the correct.
47,623 graduates from the classes of 2005 to 2025 have finally received their National Certificate in Education, NCE, from the Emmanuel Alayande University of Education, Oyo. The event signaled the formal wind down of NCE at the institution, sequel to the renewal of its mandate as a university. The occasion also coincided with the institution's third anniversary of becoming a full-fledged university of education. Our reporter, Adiola Oladele, has the full story.
Ceremony assembled 20 sets of NCE graduates from the former Emmanuel Alayande College of Education, denoting the culmination of the college era and reinforcing its new status subsequent to the upgrade to university in 2023. During the gathering, the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, represented by the Chief of Staff, Honorable Segun Ogunwuyi, highlighted the university's pivotal role as a cornerstone of teacher education in the state, reaffirming the administration's commitment to supporting institutions that empower graduates to excel in an ever-changing world.
Emmanuel Alayande University of Education has remained faithful to a singular mission, preparing educators who build society from the classroom upward. That mission has never been more relevant than it is today. I congratulate the graduates, particularly the NCE graduates of the defunct College of Education at Oyo and other campuses over the last 20 or 21 years.
The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Lariwaju Olaniyan, observed that the university's upgrade was a purposeful policy action taken by Governor Seyi Makinde's administration, resulting in improved financial stability, staffing, and infrastructure for the institution. He further unveiled plans to introduce 15 new programs across all 5 faculties, including the establishment of a new faculty of Earth Science Education.
As a university, we had 0 students in 2023, but today we have more than 9,000 students. So our university is one of the fastest growing universities in Nigeria, with 49 programs spread across 5 faculties. And our students and everybody is attesting to that. Even from competitions that our students have had, both within the states and in other states in Nigeria, our students have performed very well.
The Pro-Chancellor, Emeritus Professor Ayode Ogunkunle, commended the state government's support while urging the construction of a pedestrian bridge on the Oyo-Ogbomosho Expressway to ensure students and staff's safety. The convocation lecturer, Professor Ebe Olorunishola, delivered a companion lecture on teacherpreneurship, bringing the classroom and entrepreneurship, wherein he urged educators to transform their classroom expertise into sustainable business ventures.
You can develop online digital products educational resources, training manuals, and all kinds of things that you can market to the entire world. So you can sit down in your room, do a blog, or do a YouTube video that you can market to the whole world, and you make income.
Certificates were subsequently awarded to graduates deemed deserving in academic achievements and character. The ceremony was attended by prominent figures, including the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Hakeem Owade, represented by Prince Adediwura Owade, the Leader of Irua, Oba Samuel Adegbola, the Commissioner for Education, Mr. Segun Olaiwola, past and current university management. The atmosphere was further enlivened by cultural and musical performances by students of the school, alongside goodwill messages from other universities and institutions. Adiola Oladili, BCOS News.
The Emmanuel Anglican Church, Ibadan, was the center of tributes and gratitude to God for a life well spent, as family members, friends, church leaders, and associates gathered to bid the final farewell to a distinguished professional and community pillar, Pa David Oluwole Olufuncho Obisheson, who passed on at the ripe age of 83. Our reporter, Damnola Daudu, was at the service.
It was a solemn yet celebratory atmosphere at the Emmanuel Anglican Church, Ibadan, as the life and legacy of Pa David Oluwole Obiseson were honored. In his sermon, Canon Seyi Olawoye described the late Pa David Oluwole Obiseson as a man who lived a purposeful and impactful life anchored on faith, integrity, and service to humanity. Canon Oluwole reminded the congregation that life is a stewardship from God, urging everyone to live in a way that leaves lasting and godly footprints, noting that Pa Obiseson's dedication to God's work, his profession, and the community clearly reflected a life well prepared for eternity.
Very transparent, that almost cost him a lot. Nínú Timothy, tẹ́ bá wo tí bàbá Bishop Fájẹ́mirógùn tí wọ́n kọ síbẹ̀, it says it all. Ó rọra paraphrase it. It cost him a lot, but nínú gbogbo nǹkan wọ̀nyí, bàbá borí rẹ̀.
After the church service, Pa David Oluwole Obiseson was laid to Mother Earth. A reception followed immediately, where family members, friends, and well-wishers were entertained as they shared memories and celebrated the life and legacy of the late Pa David. Reverend Adenike Victor Tade, popularly known as Mama Empowerment, who is also the deceased daughter, expressed deep gratitude to God for the fulfilled life of her father.
He's a disciplinarian, very strict, very principled. So probably if he's still alive, I will still learn more on how to be principled. My father loved being focused. He doesn't like any distraction, and he doesn't allow anything to distract him in whatever he wants to achieve.
Mr. Victor Tade Oluwagbenga and the grandchildren describe Pa Obiseson as a loving and disciplined father, a wise mentor, and a pillar of support whose values of hard work, honesty, and compassion shaped their lives.
Baba is a good man. He's always doing things almost perfect. He always, whatever he does, he always goes for perfection.
I have to say, my grandpa helping my mom to build strength, because the world is quite a funny place that needs you to be street smart and book smart.
Born on July 1942, Pa Obiseson was widely described as a brilliant, witty, deeply resourceful, and exceptionally committed to service. From humble beginnings at St. Peter Anglican Primary School, through self-sponsored studies that earned him O-level and A-level qualification, Pa Obiseson rose to become a chartered accountant and a fellow of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. David Oluwole Obiseson, now laid to rest, but his legacy lives on the lives he touched and the family he loved. Damilola Daudu, BCOS News.
Now to the sport desk, where Tobiloba Ajewole is standing by to take us around the world of sports.
Good evening and welcome to the sports segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajewole. Super Eagles legend Ahmed Musa has officially retired from international football at the age of 33. The former Leicester City and CSKA Moscow forward made the announcement on X, thanking Nigeria after a 15-year career that saw him become the country's most capped player with 111 appearances. Musa, who debuted in 2010, won the 2013 African Cup of Nations, captained the side, and remains Nigeria's highest World Cup goal scorer as the only Nigerian to score at 2 tournaments. His final appearance came as a substitute in May's Unity Cup friendly against Ghana. And still with the national team, defender Chidozie Awaziem insists Nigeria's 2-1 friendly defeat to Egypt in Cairo on Tuesday was a valuable test ahead of the African Cup of Nations. Mahmoud Seba and Mustafa Mohamed scored for the Pharaohs, with Awaziem equalizing before halftime.
I think it was a good test for us. Egypt is not an easy country to play against. They have a couple of numbers of good players. And I think the purpose of the game was for us to test our ability.
In Division 1 and the Under-19 Youth League must pay a 600,000 naira fee to access the database, while youth clubs must submit players' primary school certificates. The registration deadline for Division 1's clubs is Friday, 27th of February 2026, with the new season scheduled to kick off on the 10th of April. And in the international scene, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has demanded Russian oligarch and former Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich to immediately release the frozen £2.5 billion from the 2022 sale of the club to Ukrainian war victims or face court action. The government wants the entire sum directed to humanitarian aid in Ukraine only, rejecting Abramovich's insistence that the funds should help all victims of the war, including Russians. A government spokesperson warned they are fully prepared to enforce the pledge legally. And finally, on the sport news tonight, there's shock in the tennis world as men's world #1 and 6-time major champion Carlos Alcaraz has parted ways with long-term coach Juan Carlos Ferrero ahead of the 2026 season. The 22-year-old Spaniard, coached by Ferrero since his teenage years, announced the split on Wednesday without giving a reason. Alcaraz thanked Ferrero for turning childhood dreams into realities and said he enjoyed every step of the journey together. Reports suggested Ferrero did not want to end the partnership. And that will be all, and it's back to news around the world. My name is Ajewole.
Thank you, Tobiloba Ajewole. Now to the foreign scene. At least 104 civilians have been killed in drone attacks across Sudan's Kordofan region as fighting between rival military factions escalated. Foreign desk editor Fola Shade Akintola compiled details of this and other foreign news. Shade's report is presented by Bimbo Akonbi.
Attacks have battered the central region since early December, right up to Friday, following the capture of a significant army base by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, in Bab Nusa after a week of intense fighting. The escalation has displaced tens of thousands and overwhelmed health facilities already strained by cholera and dengue outbreaks as the main fighting shifts from Darfur in the west to the vast central region of Kordofan. The deadliest attack was reported from a kindergarten and a hospital in Kalugi, South Kordofan, where 89 people were killed, including 43 children and 8 women. 6 Bangladeshi peacekeepers serving with the United Nations mission were killed when drones hit their base in Kandugli, South Kordofan's capital, on December 13. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned what he termed the horrific drone attacks, noting that attacks on peacekeepers may constitute war crimes under international law. In the meantime, Australian authorities say they have charged a man who opened fire on a Jewish Hanukkah celebration on Sydney's Bondi Beach, killing 15 people, with terrorism and murder charges as mourners gathered to begin funerals for the victims. Police and local courts said on Wednesday that 59 charges have been introduced after the deadly shooting that also wounded dozens of others, including 2 officers. Among the offenses are committing a terrorist act, murder, wounding with intent to murder, placing an explosive, and discharging a firearm with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. There are 20 people receiving care in Sydney hospitals for injuries sustained in Sunday's shooting, according to NSW Health. That includes 1 patient in critical condition and several in critical but stable condition. 2 attackers identified as 50-year-old Sajid Akalam and his 25-year-old son, Navid Akalam, carried out the attack using 6 firearms owned by the former. Bimbo Akambi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. Members of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, assembled at the NLC Secretariat, Abuja, on Wednesday for a nationwide protest against rising insecurity and worsening economic conditions across the country. A chartered aircraft operated by Sky Park Kaduna crash-landed at Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, on Tuesday evening, with 2 of the 4 persons on board reported to be in critical condition. Governor Seyi Makinde has a conversion of 654 workers into various in the various ministries, departments, and agencies in Oyo State. And on the foreign scene, we told you at least 104 civilians have been killed in drone attacks across Sudan's Kordofan region as fighting between rival military factions escalated. BCOS website is live. Kindly visit www.bcostv.com. Now, before I go, late night outing is conducive to criminality. Do not keep late nights. That ends the news around the world. Thank you for watching and good evening.
Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilé wa.
Join Oyo State Government in its determined efforts to promote agricultural revolution. Support the government to guarantee food sufficiency, job creation, improved revenue generation, economic diversification, and industrial growth through the agricultural value chain. Let's go back to the land. Cultivate the land, plant food crops, fruits and vegetables, engage in livestock farming, embrace the agricultural value chain through agro-business practices. Let's help ourselves to guarantee food security, arrest inflation, and reduce cost of living. Together it is possible. Powered by BCOS.
Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilé wa.